were still crying, you were still soaked up in all the sadness of it. So she was just there for her. They just ate together, just cried together. She was just, it was just one of those things. And eventually, after it was all done, okay, pat yourself up and you pick up and you go. But it was nice to have someone there to comfort you and all of that. So yeah, female friendships, you cannot do, like you said, we're social animals. We can't do without communication. We can't do without talking to someone. Just having somebody there to us. I think part of this is still one of the reasons why people still companionship, why people go into relationships. I'm talking about romantic relationships in this case. But like female friendships are still very, very important. Because we're going to get to that later. Not having your female friends be the, I don't want to say second option, but just be a placeholder while you wait for your male relationships. We're going to talk about that later later today in the episode. But yeah, for now, let's just talk about how can we strengthen our female friendships that we already have. How can we make them continually be relevant to us? And how can we show that we are present despite the changes that are happening in our lives? Like we've talked about numerous changes, but how can we still show that I'm there for you? I want you to know that I'm still here for you. I'm not going anywhere. This is where I am. Yeah, so how can we do that?
Okay, so I'm going to come from personal experience, right? Something I know that I struggle with, that I know if I was, more vast with it will make my friendship stronger, is vulnerability.
Okay.
I have learned that when you ask for help, you get help. But then in the asking, a lot of us struggle with the asking because sometimes there is this fear of, I don't want to hear no. And then you don't just go for it because no can be very heartbreaking and disheartening.
That's true.
But the truth is that if you want strengthened friendships, relationships, you have to learn how to be vulnerable. You have to learn how to ask for help. You have to understand that people are willing to help, because I am thinking about myself and I'm saying, oh, if my friend reaches out to me and asks for help, I am very willing and ready and able to help. And I know I attract people like me as well. So there should be that consciousness that helps me understand that, oh, I can be vulnerable with this person and they can help and they are willing to help when they can. And, they can just be a shoulder to lean on. They can just be there to listen to my rants and everything. So vulnerability is something that is very, very important in female friendship. It's something that I will always, always advise. It's something that we should learn how to, vulnerability with people we call friends. So
I love how
that is one thing.
I love how you're talking about vulnerability. It's something we've been stressing about a lot recently, like in the past couple of years. How it is an important part in relationships, in every kind of relationship. If you're going to build it and make it very, very important to you, you have to be vulnerable. Unless it just ends up being a surface relationship. It doesn't go beyond I know her name, I know her surname, I know where she lives, because a number of people can know that information about you. People in your church can know, they know where you live and they know this is your name and your surname and what state you come from. But vulnerability is that moment where you get to share the deep things and you're like, okay, I know I think what makes it most difficult is the fact that it requires a lot of trust. Which is something very, very, very difficult to build.
Expensive.
It's because you're like, okay, if I trust you and I tell you this thing and then tomorrow I'm trending on social media, what happens?
Exactly.
You understand?
It happens.
It does happen.
It's not something that is just in the air.
It does happen, but
people,
even at that, we cannot deny the fact that it is an integral part of very, very, very strong relationships. You cannot say that you're very good friends with someone and there has never been a vulnerable moment between you. Absolutely. If everybody keeps keeping their guard up, you're just people that I really know, but you're not really friends. You understand? Because the same thing happens in relationships. You can't be in a relationship with someone and all that they know about you is your favorite food and your name. You're probably even writing that on your Twitter bio or something. My favorite food is this. You see those kind of things. I love chess and something. Anybody can get that up. But those deep things, it takes a lot of trust. Definitely takes a lot of trust. But once you've definitely you've reached the level that you feel like that person you're friends with, if you really, really hold them in esteem, I think it should be possible for you to break down with them. Break down in front of them. That's literally vulnerability sometimes. Just saying, this is how I feel right now, this is what I've been holding. I can't tell any other person, but I feel like I can tell you. It's not easy. You can feel that you're going to be judged or something. But it is so important for friendships.
Yes, and I just even want to come in here to say vulnerability doesn't even have to be the big, deep thing. Yesterday, I sent some pictures to my friends. I was looking for something to I wanted to change my LinkedIn profile picture and I sent pictures to her. And then she was so excited that I sent her pictures to people because it's something that I don't normally do. So it doesn't even have to be the grand things. Just make them feel special, make them feel seen, make them feel an integral part of your decision making. Like, it doesn't have to be I want to school in XYZ place or this other place, and please help me, I don't know which one to go, can we pray about it together? It doesn't even have to be those very deep things. It could be something as simple as, oh, I don't know what to wear, should I wear pink or blue, should I wear this high slit skirt, or should I wear this skirt that has a slit at the back? It can just be something that easy, that simple, but then it just builds this kind of, oh, she needs me, she loves me, and then it builds this kind of trust. And I think it's such a beautiful thing. So vulnerability doesn't have to be so deep and so big. It can be in the easy things as well.
Yes, I also want to say on this topic of vulnerability, because it obviously takes us to the topic of trusting. It is easier for people to be vulnerable with you if you have shown yourself to be a trusting person, a trustworthy person.
Yes.
You can't expect to be a tattletale. Any small thing that you hear, you're just, hey, did you hear this? Did you hear that? Like with everybody. You know, there's some people that you know that any gist you hear, you're definitely going to tell them. It is two of us, it is three of us. We tell each other our gist, we know. But then somebody just tells you something, and like your very, very close friend, and then somebody that you three don't even know, or you four, or how many you are, somebody just suddenly says, I heard this and this, and then you're like, huh? From where? The only person privy to information was you. So how did so and so person get to know about it? So in searching for people you can be vulnerable with, the first question to really ask is, are you also somebody who is trustworthy? Because people are not going to want to tell you things if you are not capable of keeping your mouth shut
at all.
If you're going to have very, very close female friendships, you have to be ready to know how to keep your mouth shut. Because you can't be a friend and somebody tells you something and 2 days later the whole world knows. Nobody's going to want to maintain friendships with you. The only thing you're going to be is a surface friendship. You're going to be one of those friends that they just come to when they need something specific, but they're not going to tell you the big things. It's just going to be like that. And if you really, really care about someone, you have to be ready to know how to keep your mouth shut.
I agree.
I don't know if that's the best way to phrase it, but honestly, that's just the way. You have to be ready to know when to draw the line. Know that not her business is not everybody's business.
Yes.
It is only your business at that point in time, but you're not going to share with everybody. Because trust is and another thing in this vulnerability matter is that you can't just be vulnerable with someone you just met yesterday.
Yes, it's cringe.
Yes, you can. Like, honestly, you cannot. I understand that you can meet people and you just kick it off so well.
Energy is amazing and all of that, but
exactly, you can just feel like, oh God, it feels like I've known you for like years. How are we just meeting yesterday? But you can't just open your mouth immediately, because there's an importance of building borders.
Yes.
You have to know where to draw the line.
Boundaries.
Yes. Thank you so much. Building boundaries in relationships. You can't just go all. I just met somebody today and I just started telling them this and this and no. Vulnerability comes from you've known this person over time. You trust them, then you can share. You're not gonna share with somebody you just met yesterday, 2 days ago. Give it time. Give that relationship time to stand, because some things can even happen even without you being vulnerable. Sometimes you begin to start telling some traits. I know this person is a good person, but when it comes to keeping secrets, they might not really be the best. So they're my friend, but I know I can't tell them so and so. And that's another thing I want to ask. Is it possible that in friendships, there's a way we compartmentalize the things we share with people? Like, I don't want to say it's sort of like a conditional friendship, but is it possible that you have friends that, you know, when it comes to financial advice, you think that are much better off? When it comes to emotional advice, you feel like if I go and meet this person, they were able to give me better advice than so and so person. Does that make the friendship sort of conditional, or is just knowing who this person is and working with them based on who they are? What do you think about that?
I don't think it makes the friendship conditional. So again, on talking from personal experience, right? So I used to have a friend, oh no, she's still my friend. I have a friend who, you know, who used to be very close to me, but then we had issues because we didn't really have issues per se, but we started having withdrawing from each other because she only shared sad things with me. So she only shared when she's having issues with her boyfriend, or she only shares when she's unable to afford the trip, or she only share when her boss is just being a pain in the ass.
So you were literally like just
it's sounding, but you know, like I really don't want to be this person. But then she's traveling to meet her boyfriend, and then she's not telling me about it. She got a new job, and the only time I hear about her new job is when her boss is not being the best boss, you know. And then that affected me. So I was wondering whether she conditioned me as that friend that was only there to, you know, give her an advice or to be there for a shoulder to lean on, and it bothered me. But then I also thought about it in another way, because I have friends who I reach out to for different reasons. So, and I think it's just the reality of things. I have friends who are more religious or spiritual than the others, and when I have concerns about my faith, or when I want to ask about, you know, anything regarding faith, I'm going to meet them. I have friends who have their finances.
Okay, we have a caller.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to interrupt Her Majesty for a moment.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Hello. All right. The number to keep calling us on is 09155555898. I'll take the number one more time. 09155555898. We're talking about female friendships today. I'm here with Her Majesty Ifunanya. We're talking about all the goods and all the bad that could come up with being in a female friendship and dealing with hurts. We're gonna get to that soon, of course. Dealing with hurts, just all the rigmarole that comes with being in a female friendship. So if you have anything to say, any stories to share of times when you've had a female friendship, or even if you're in one now, a memory that comes to your mind that is so profound that makes you like, oh my god, I treasure my female friends so much, or even one of hurts and how you dealt with the hurts, because that is also very much prevalent in female friendships. You have those ones that you're like, in my life I'm never having a female friend again. Never. People have and in fact that should just take us to the next thing. People have had such experiences where it's like, I've had one female friendship and what I saw in this life, I don't want to see it again. And it just makes them so hurt, and they're like, no, never anymore. I'm never having a female friendship again. But I don't think while I can obviously not just trivialize your experience, but I think we should keep being open to good female friendships. Because people have had friends that give them jobs, contracts, and you're like, it's my friend that did this, it's my friend that did that. And you're like, really? So I don't think it's so like just because of that experience you totally like close off on female friendship.
I agree 100%.
But that still happens. So how do you think people can can recover from the hurts of being in female friendships that they've had in female friendships and open themselves back up to new ones?
I genuinely think that trauma is such a deep thing.
Definitely is.
And if you haven't had an experience, a very traumatic experience, you really shouldn't just have conversations around how to deal with trauma. I haven't had that experience, so I really can't say how to deal with trauma. I think relationships are very important, and if you have had traumatic relationships that make you rethink friendships like forever, then maybe you need to see a professional. Maybe you need to see someone, because friendships are important. We need people, and it's okay to have your guards up, but we need people. So I empathize with people that have had traumatic friendships, have had traumatic experiences, but seek professional help. We need each other.
Okay. On this same topic, but slightly a bit another side. There are times where we hear of stories where people have problems with like their partners. In fact, not even partners that are married to yet. Like serious issues, and somehow they find it in their hearts to forgive and continue this relationship. If I could happen like 3 times and they'll still forgive and continue. Now there are now situations where girls would have problems with themselves, and after just one problem, they're like, no, we're never going to be friends anymore. You hear of that often. Like, what do you think about that? Like, you're so easy to forgive someone that, in fact, you may have had this friend before you met said partner, but you're just not willing to forgive them for one altercation, where you're willing to keep on forgiving your boyfriend or your partner over and over and over again. What does that say about how much women value female friendships?
Okay, so I think there are possible different reasons for why this can happen. There is this scarcity that we attach to romantic relationships. Like, if I leave this man or if I leave this babe now, where will I find another one? So that makes you have, you're more willing to take on a lot of trash from them. But I think we think that we are able to get friendships from anywhere. So it may not necessarily be about female friendship. I think it's just about the fact that finding a romantic partner that is compatible with you sometimes seems like a daunting task, and then people just don't want to go through the process of just having to not deal with this person at all and get on to a new person, and they can just easily forgive. But with female friendships, people might see it as
it's just a friend.
Yeah,
like
just a friend.
Feels like they've esteemed romantic relationships a bit higher as women.
Exactly.
Sort of esteemed romantic relationships higher than female friendships.
Exactly.
Which is why sometimes you hear these cases like, as soon as she got married, she just stopped talking to all of us. She just, in fact, she only calls us now. She only calls us now when she wants to complain about her husband, but she has definitely stopped talking to every one of us.
Oh my god, yes.
Which I think is not really the best. I understand that definitely you are maybe in a romantic relationship, you're like, oh my goodness, the love of my life and everything and all of that. But I think it's still nice that it's still important that you're still able to maintain your female friendship. You just don't say, okay, I'm in a relationship now, which just please. That female friendship, that's all I want to hear. In fact, don't talk to me. Like I remember there's this skit I watched recently, this was on the other side. It was about this young guy, and I think as soon as he got into his current relationship, he forgot all his guys. Which you don't really find in when it comes to men. You understand?
Yes, true.
Like it's so I think it's like a call to action for us. We don't really see that with men.
Yes.
When they are in relationships, they'll still remember their friends. They still have this moment, and babe, I still need to have this guy time. They are going out with their friends. Even the ones who are not even like very, very extroverted, they still wouldn't just discard the people that they used to know.
Yes.
But somehow when women enter relationships, it's like every female friend we've had, we don't know their names anymore.
Yeah.
We suddenly forget them until maybe there is something wrong with our relationship. We suddenly start remembering, oh, I had this friend. Let me go and meet her and cry on her shoulder. And it's a call to action to us, honestly, to stop. I'm not trying to say we should not esteem one above the other. I can understand that when it comes to a partner, if you're going to, especially when you're going to spend your life with them for the rest of your life, it's very, very important. It's very deep. But it doesn't mean you should suddenly forget your friends. You're going to need those moments where you just want to be with your fellow girls, unwind, just have a good time. You're going. In fact, it's not always like the serious, deep things. You should not think of friendship just for crying.
Yeah.
Just for sharing the bad things. You understand?
Yes.
A good friendship, what a healthy friendship should be is I should feel very safe around you, emotionally, in literally all wise. I should feel very safe around you. I should feel like you're always open as much as within your power at least to listen, to hear me out. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing. It shouldn't be that I should only come to you when there are problems. I should be there as often as possible. So what do you think, like, on the topic of healthy female friendships, what should women do more? What should it look like? When should you know that this friendship is no longer healthy, it has become toxic?
Okay, I think that there are a lot of pointers for toxicity.
Okay.
One very important pointer for me is sharing other people's business with me.
Definitely.
So I know we're talking about trust, but I wanted to say this earlier. I think trust is a two-way street.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to intersect at any point. So say I'm friends with you and I'm friends with an ex-person who's not a mutual friend or who even might be a mutual friend, and they share their concern with me. Even though I might be closer to you as maybe you're my best friend, I have a responsibility to manage the conversation I had with that person outside you. I have a responsibility to not share that person's concerns, that person's realities, that person's secrets and quotes with you. So when I begin to share another person's conversation, another person's gist with you, basically, I think that is a red flag, and you should be careful of such a friend. So you should be careful of me if I bring another person's concerns to you. So that is very toxic, because the truth is that when I talk about another person's issues with you, I am talking about your issues with another person. You're not special. I mean, if I can talk about person A with person C, I can definitely talk about person C with person D. So that is one thing that's one show of toxicity.
Okay.
Another thing that points to toxicity is a friend that is a leech. That just always wants to take, and then they are never there to give. It plays out in so many ways. It plays out in, monetary giving and taking. It plays out in advice giving and taking. It plays out in time giving and taking. For example, you have a friend who you can always reach out to, and then you're sharing your concerns with them, and they are always, oh, don't worry, I'll put it in prayer, I'll talk to God for you. I mean, putting in prayer is great, but I'm sharing a concern with you. I need some sort of assurance or just something. But then when they come to you, you see yourself going the extra mile. You see yourself placing calls to people. You see yourself reading books to even understand their concerns so you can help them. So that is also something to pay attention to. People that are just, parasitic in nature. They just want to always suck from you, and then they are not ready to give. That is another trait of toxicity.
Okay.
And finally, another trait of toxicity I would advise against is a friend that talks down on you. It is such a big deal for me, because one of my primary love languages is word of affirmation.
Okay.
So if I have a friend that will always talk down on me, that is a no-go area. I am not interested in that relationship or friendship. I understand that there are some times that you need people to, give you a sound of warning, caution you about things, tell you you're not doing things the right way. But there is a way to approach these conversations with love, and I am very big on love. So talking down on your someone you call friend is a huge red flag that we should pay attention to. So I'll just go over them again. Talking down on me.
Yeah.
The second one I mentioned was not being the parasitic in nature, and the first one I mentioned was sharing another person's secrets or conversations or trust with you. So yes,
it's a very very good point actually to identifying a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Because that parasitic one happens a lot. You have friends who they're never there for anything good.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, you know them when they call you, you're like, oh my goodness,
Yes.
here we go again. Here we go again. They're only there just to complain, there to just take from you. Hey, I have this problem. Do you know so and so person? Like you just know whenever they call you. In fact, you're already feeling drained before you pick the call. You can already tell this conversation is going to make me angry or slightly pissed by the time I'm off with the call. And like you said again, what were the other ones you mentioned again? About what you call it? Someone who tells your secrets a lot. We've already mentioned about that earlier in the show. That happens very very often, and I think it's something women take very very deeply.
Yeah.
Because if someone has told you something you would know when it's in confidence. You would definitely know.
Very true. They don't have to spell it.
In fact, even if I didn't confidence, you don't necessarily have to tell me my things. Say things about me to everybody. You understand? It's such a very, very, in fact, as a person, it says a lot about you. Outside of your female friendships, it shows that you can't actually keep things, because you would be in other relationships, not just female friendships. You would even be in romantic relationships where it's important that your partner tells you something,
even
and you should not.
You are supposed to be confidential about certain things.
You sign your NDA, and tomorrow they'll catch you that you have said what you're not supposed to say. So these things happen very often. Talking too much, being a leech, all of that. Another thing I want to talk about is having friends who don't celebrate your wins. Do you understand? Because it happens. I think that's one of the major things women complain about when it comes to toxicity in their friendships. How whenever I talk about something that maybe has happened to me, something good, her face will just change. It will just become so somehow. But when it's her turn, she wants me to be so happy for her. You would know, they never show up for anything good. On your birthdays. And birthdays are very important for women. I understand people have very, very different opinions on birthdays. Some people are it's not really that deep. But one thing I think, in my opinion, when it comes to friendship, in fact, generally, when it comes to friendship, is that you learn to take people's interests seriously. You may not necessarily like it on your own. Because you have cases where people don't even like to cook, but they suddenly enter relationships that are asking you, how do you know how to make that begiri soup you made that week? Please come and teach me. But your friend has been calling you over and over that she likes to do this thing. Can you just support me by just coming in this video? No, you know me now. There's always an excuse when it comes to your friend, but you don't give that same excuses with your romantic relationships or with other people. You can just tell. Showing up for people, they don't show up enough. They just don't show up enough for you. Most importantly, they are never happy when you're winning. It's I don't know how, but they suddenly hear this and this happened to you. They suddenly want to make it sound smaller. Things that you're happy about, they just have a way of making it sound smaller than it is. If you tell them, I went to so and so place today and I was able to do that, really, it's not really that big a deal.
I cannot do
it's such a tough it's such a because people like that are very very dangerous. Because you could have a very very nice idea, and then you hear things like this idea I said for talking about, it's not really all that. Because what you want is someone who, what people want in their corner is someone who is not just loyal, someone who is capable, all of that. When I tell you, okay, I'm thinking of this and this, you not start telling me, here are the cons of why you shouldn't do this.
Exactly.
No. I know there are cons to this. Tell me the pros to it. Tell me why this would be a good venture. Yes, I understand that there's a place of honesty. But somebody who keeps always coming on that whole, that whole negativity vibe, come on.
I agree.
Every single time you open your mouth to your friends, we already know the aura in the room is going to dampen. It's going to just become so sour. But I remember there's a video from one comedian that I watched recently, and she was talking about when you're wearing an outfit, that friend that is always ready to just say bad about it. There is the whole actually an outfit looks terrible on you, and we have to tell you the truth. And there is the I just don't like you, and I hate that you look better than me. You know those people like that.
Yes.
Even when it's your occasion, they don't know how to make you feel like the owner of that occasion is I don't know, can't you just this color? It's not bright. Can't you just wear something a bit dim or dull? We get those a lot in female friendships. Women really need to do better. You just don't know how to be happy for your friends. When they're going through something that is just like such a big moment for them, you always want to find a way to either draw the attention to you or just suddenly make it seem like it is not so big a deal anymore. It happens so often. So that's a very, very, very key thing to identify in toxic friendship. If you're just joining us, earlier on, if I mentioned people who are going to like tell your secrets, you tell them things immediately, they're off and about, and they're like, hey, so and so person said this. Can you imagine? You can't even tell them anything. You can't be sure that it wouldn't leak. And that one is people who are just with you to just use you.
Yeah.
When they want something, they remember, oh, this person has this. And talking about that using thing, one thing we see a lot when it comes to people using is in people's businesses. Especially when we have businesses that tend to be more beauty centered, like you're a nail artist, you're a hair maker. Your friend knows though, because let's just think about it. Braids on a normal day, you want to do your braids. You're going to spend almost like 2 hours, depending on the size. But let's just say an average of 2 hours, if it's not that big.
Yes.
Your friend believes that they will sit down there for 2 hours, you do their hair, and they will just say thank you and go. There's a thing of, okay, let me do your hair for you. There's another thing of even wanting to say, baby, you did my hair for me. Thank you so much. How far now? Let me help you do something. I'm not saying that it always has to be transactional. I understand that the person is your friend. But you have to understand when something is a business and when something is a hobby.
Yes.
There is hobby of, I like to do hair, but it's not really I don't want to do it for pay. I just like to do it for fun. Come over, let me do your hair if not. And then there is, this is what I'm using to survive and put food on my table. But your friend never recognizes that. When their hair is rough, that's when they suddenly come visiting. How far? My friend has been so long. This is my hair, Seth. It's so old. Oh, you know that trick. They will not scratch the hair. This hair is so. Do you know I was going yesterday to say, this is your hair, you will not lose it. You want to steer the conversation to something else, they will go back to that hair. And in fact, you can be talking about food and there will be hair. There's no hair in this food. Look at my hair. Something so unnecessary and so random. It's not nice. No. We need to be very, very honest as women. In our friendships, we cannot be using people's businesses. We cannot exploit our friends. Just because we're friends, you can't exploit my business. You can't do that. It's not nice. Or your friend sells meat pie every time you come to her shop. This is your meat pie. It's so fine today. Just remove one and just like it. If you know it's someone's means of livelihood, don't play with it. Because they are not about, women are not playing with their money anymore. Don't play with your friend's money. Do you understand?
That's right, yes. You
can't be doing that to other women. You can't just come because you know they're doing it. You're like, these my nails are so bad. I have this from a friend that does nails. You're not about to pay her. You never make referrals. In fact, there's some people that go out of their way. You know your friend does this thing. You would never refer her. So when you say, do you know anybody that does hair? No, not really. But once your hair is bad, my friend. How far now? No, it happens so often. It does. And aside just identifying this, I think even us as women, when you find out that you have people like this in your life, you need to learn when to draw the boundaries. Some women are so scared to draw boundaries. In toxic relationship, that's what makes it stay. Because you don't call it out and you don't draw the boundary. If someone is exploiting your money, there is I said it before, there's the difference between a hobby and a means of livelihood. You can enjoy your means of livelihood, you can double up as your passion, but as long as it's still paying you, you have to take it seriously. Very seriously. If you notice that a friend of yours only comes to like use your gifts, your resources for free, things you're using to make money for free, you have to call her out. If it spoils the friendship, I'm very, very sorry, but it wasn't a friendship to begin with. Because good people know that they don't just come and exploit people's businesses. We are adults. I mean, we are not kids. You know that you person using it to make money. You know it happens very often. Somebody's doing something. I think hair is usually like the common thing. Or makeup nowadays. You know that I'm doing makeup for money. You just come over and it's not like it. There's a whole thing of me saying, don't worry, my friend, just keep the money. You understand? You know that where you want to just reach your pocket and everything to see who they say yes or no. At least have the decency to do that. Let the person say, no, my friend, don't worry. Don't worry. But just don't come and then be like, sis, I'm looking fine, thank you. You will take your pictures, you will not even say, so person did my makeup or patronize. Do you understand?
That's nothing like minimum. That.
That's literally the least thing you could do to refer them. Yes. And really, ladies, if you're listening, call out your friends if they're doing it. No. Honestly, call them out. If they're using your money for free, using your resources for free, please call them out. If they're about to do their hair and every single time their hair is rough, they come to you, they don't pay, they don't even bring people. You know, there's a way like you can do hair for someone and you're like, I know this person brings like 7 other customers. So I'm not even about to even collect your money. Do you understand? Because you're thinking in the long run, I know this my friend. This tomorrow now, you see 7 other people coming telling me, someone and this person sends me hair. She said you make nice hair. There is that level, but there's the level of you don't add anything to the business. All you do is keep on taking and taking and taking. Call your friends out. Have a proper conversation with them. if they seem like they're trying to gaslight you, like trying to make you feel like, oh, what you're saying is invalid, I think it's time to take a step back from that friendship. Really put them in that whole category of acquaintance rather than friendship. Which is another thing. When to know when someone is a friend and an acquaintance. Because we're so loose with the word friends.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my friend. No. It's not rude to say that's my acquaintance.
Yes, it's not rude.
I feel like there's a particular level you need to get to be able to call someone your friend. Because when you're loose with the word, trust me, people are opportunists. They are ready to milk you for that friendship. They might not be adding anything to your life because friendship should be rewarding.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in a very, very material way. But just if I'm with you, there's some people that you're with, it's not necessarily material.
Yes.
It's just emotional.
Yes.
They're with you, and when you're just done with them, their conversation builds you up. You suddenly feel much more insightful.
Yeah.
You feel so ready to take on whatever it is you were going to do. There's some people that you just know that, okay, I need advice on this thing. You're just going to call them, and you know for sure you're going to know what to do, how to do it. Do you understand? A friendship should be rewarding. Yes. It should be a safe space. It should be building. It should build you up. Absolutely. You shouldn't be in friends, especially like now that people are adults. You should not be in friendships where all they're going to do is, you can't be gisting your friendship morning till night.
No.
I know that there are days like that. Maybe times like you have not seen in months and it's like, oh my God, what's the tea? What's going on? I know. But no matter what, there should still be moments of okay. Here's that. How's business going? You should feel free to talk about your business with your friends. Feel free to have money conversations with your friends. That's why I said there's a difference between friendship and acquaintances. So like, if now, where do we know, the difference? Where does the difference come in?
I think the difference comes in individual boundary setting. Okay. So it depends on what we hold dear, what we regard most important. Yeah. So people are very loose with money conversations. Yeah. While other people hold it to very high esteem. Yeah. So you should know where everybody comes in, and you know where your goons, where the kind of conversations that it's only them that are having that privilege to be a part of. Yeah. So I think friendship and acquaintances is really depends on personal interests, personal boundaries, personal realities. But it is very important for us to know where to draw the line and who to call friends and acquaintances. In fact, I also think that people that have so many friends, like everybody is their friends, are not very true to themselves. Because you're not jollof rice. Everybody cannot like you. So you cannot regard everybody as friend and think or deceive yourself to believe that is true. Everybody cannot be your friend. You must have people that you align with in regards to goals and in regards to life vision, value systems, finances, industry, religion, faith, whatever it is. Yeah, people that are just your community. That's certain things. So drawing the line between friendship and acquaintances starts from a place of self-awareness. What is most important to you and what you can share with everybody and what is reserved for people that are closer to your heart. So I think that's all I'll have to say about
Okay. So we're obviously very close to wrapping up, and I can't believe we've been talking for so long.
I know, right?
I think that's just what happens with this kind of topics. When you talk about friendship, there's always so much to talk about because there are negative sides, there are positive sides. It just has all the angles. Yeah. But I think I want to close off on the importance of intentionality in maintaining your friendships. Okay. Because you see, you can have a good friend, but because you're not intentional about that friendship, it could really go sour. Yeah. Like we said earlier in the show today, things are happening daily to our lives. Yes. We are evolving to different people. We're having we could have geographical changes. You could be here today and tomorrow you're in a totally different state. You're not very, very accessible to your friend anymore. Yeah. But I think we're very lucky, especially in a time like this in our current generation with social media. There's literally WhatsApp calls, Telegram calls, whatever it is. There are video calls, there are voice calls now. There's always a way to still stay in touch. Yeah. But what I find that is people don't really want to be intentional anymore. You hear excuses like, oh, I've been so busy. And truly, you might have been busy, but you've not been too busy to eat, have you? No. Do you understand? There are always things that are key. So I think it's a matter of if you prioritize your friendships, if you're intentional about your friendships, you would find a way to keep them. Yeah. So how can we make those intentional steps? How can we what are the things we can put in place to say, okay, if I do so and so, I know that somehow I'm always found in a state where I'm maintaining my friendship. What can we do?
So I think it's just taking back to what I said earlier about being vulnerable with the little things.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't even have to be about the big decisions and
Yeah.
the big things. It's just, oh, you wake up in the morning and you're having issues picking between wearing a sandals and heels to work, and then you just send the two pictures to your friend. Oh, which one do you think is better? I'm running late to work and I don't know what I should wear. And
Yeah.
then just they pick one and then you go with it. Um, these kind of things that are so small but are so real helps build friendships. I also think another thing that affects friendship in this age and time is the fact that a lot of people are not interested in phone calls. You'd see on social media people saying, "Oh, these are the 99 things you have to do before calling me. You have to text me. You have to do this, and if you should be my mother or you're about to die before you call me."
Yeah.
And the calling culture has just died off, and we don't always have that time to sustain a text conversation. You can send a hello, and then something work just takes your time away,
That's
and before
true.
you're responding
It's
again,
like
it's 4
2
hours.
days or something.
But then if you're able to just
Take
save
out time
some
to
30
call.
seconds, 1 minute, just say, "Oh, I just thought about you and I just
Yeah.
thought to say hi." That is also very beautiful. That also helps with friendships
Yeah.
as well. So.
And I think on the topic of intentionality, something I think I've been trying to imbibe lately that has worked is when I think of someone, when they pop into my head, I don't wait. As long as they have come into my head at that point in time,
Yes.
I will just shoot a text. In fact, I don't even like leave the hello thing because I know that the hello, before I wait for you to reply, before I come online again.
Yes.
So I give a proper text. Like most of the time, I prefer to leave a voice note like that because I say, "Hi, I thought about you today. How are you doing? I hope everything is going fine. How's work? How's your family?" That one, whenever they reply, I know what they're going to be doing is giving a response to what I have said. But it's not more of like a hello, then I'll now wait and respond with a hi. Or better still, if it's possible, I just shoot a call immediately. Because calls are like so much better.
Yes.
They're like more sustainable. I'm like, "Hello, how are you doing? This. And it might happen like once in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Or something, but like there's still
There's
that whole feeling connection.
Yes.
And it's even much better when I know it might seem a bit overboard, but if you for friendships that you really, really, really value, and this in fact I don't want to just say for female friendships alone because I understand that the other relationships we value very, very much. This could also help in like your business relationships. You don't want to have a mentor or an investor that you're just talking to once a month. Can you see? You can actually help yourself by putting out time on your calendar.
Yeah.
When you want to make out your week plan, we're going to talk about routine sometime on the Women Meeting and Lifestyle show, maybe in another episode or whatever. We're going to talk about the importance of having routines.
Okay.
You can actually like set out in your week and be like, okay, on Wednesday I want to call so and so person. And you put in your calendar by so and so time, I must call so and so person.
Yes.
You would not forget. No matter what comes up, you know that alarm has gone off.
Yes.
Like you have to call so and so
Yeah.
person. It helps you stay because life is busy. It's the truth.
The truth.
It's honestly very true. Is life busy? Yes, it is very busy. But we cannot make these excuses. We have to find a way to stay with our friends, to stay connected with the people we love. Because, like we said, we are social beings.
Yeah.
Companionship is important. These things are very, very important in our lives, and we have to treasure and value them. It's just, just one of those things. Anyhow, Your Majesty, it has been such an exciting time with you. Honestly,
It has been.
So, do you have any like final words for like the girls? For the
Yes.
ladies listening.
Yes. So my final words would be just to love yourself enough to have friendships that pour into you.
Yeah.
Just love yourself enough to choose you enough to not want to deal with toxicity.
Okay.
Just love yourselves, and I think when we love ourselves, a lot of things come into play.
Okay. Thank you very much. So if you've been tuned in since the start of the Women, Beauty and Lifestyle show, we're talking about friendship, and here's a quick rundown of all we have said. So we have talked about what a healthy friendship looks like. You should pour into you, you should not take out of you. We talked about toxic female friendships that it feels like everything you say to the person, you hear it from someone else. They're very loose with their mouth. Friendships that are parasitic in nature, all they want to do is just take. You find out that they're not adding anything to you, value-wise, in any way, really. They're not adding anything to you. We've also talked about the importance of having good female friendships, how we're social beings, and it's important that we stay friends, we have these friends, and how we should not suddenly alienate our friends when we go into romantic relationships. Because it happens a lot with women. We enter romantic relationships and suddenly it's like, oh, I don't remember you anymore.
True.
So we should keep maintaining our female friendship. So one thing I just want to leave you with is be the friend you want to have. The way you visualize your friendship, the way you visualize your friends to be that person. Stop expecting something that you cannot give. If you want a good friend, be a good person.
Yes.
I don't want to say that we always attract good people because we attract bad people when we're not trying to.
It's true.
But yeah, no matter what you're doing, be the friend you want to attract and use that standard to hold other people kind of. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because you cannot come out and say so and so person is treating you so and so way. Meanwhile, you're like exactly that same person.
Yeah.
You're being treated the way you treat them. So be the image of the friendship you want. it starts from you. Be a good person, and then it extends to your circle. Then you know
Absolutely
what a
agree
good
with
person
that.
looks like and go for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a nice time on Women, Beauty and Lifestyle on 8.3 FM NYSC Radio. My name is Sonia Igokan, and I've been with a wonderful.
Her Majesty.
Okay.
Well, you can call me Her Majesty.
Okay, no problem. So thank you, queens. Thank you, ladies. Thank you,
Thank
princesses.
you,
Thank you
thank
so much
you.
for staying tuned in. Of course, stay with us again another time next week, Wednesday, by 1 p.m. for another edition of Women, Beauty, and Lifestyle with me and Her Majesty and whoever other lady, whichever lady might still be with us today. So shout out to Glenn who has been in the studio with us all day.
Yeah.
He's our ally in the female kingdom. He's a man, so he's our ally. Yeah, and so I think to our videographer today, to Caleb and everybody who's really just chipped in somehow. Thank you so much, and thank you most importantly for staying tuned. This one is Girls Like You by Maroon 5. Do enjoy.